Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Boku no Hero Academia chapter 427. We're rapidly approaching the end, only have, what, 3 more after this maybe? And this one is titled, Who Was Tomura Shigaraki Really? Something like that. Shigaraki's one of my favorite characters, so I'm excited to see where this goes. It seemed like we were getting into some Spinner stuff, so maybe we'll have Izuku talking to Spinner. It just feels like we have so little time left, and I'm like, what are we gonna see? What are we gonna see? I'm so excited. And we had that one hint at something a couple chapters ago, and it's like, what was that? But either way, let's just get into reading and see what we have. 427. Who was Tomura Shigaraki really? And we have these interviews with an office worker. He was one terrifying fellow. Thank goodness he was defeated. Some students. My friend got killed by that vicious murderer. This honestly blows. Honestly, this blows. My life's like totally messed up now. Also, my house was destroyed. And then we have Housewife 70. I can't help but wonder if they could have stopped him sooner. Then a restaurant owner. Look, everyone thought that freak was a 2-bit punk at first. Nobody expected him to turn into such a threat. Though the restoration is moving along at a brisk pace thanks to an outpouring of international support and volunteers, those efforts have yet to reach some parts of the nation. The mountains of rubble yet to be cleared show the widespread extent of the damage. So yeah, it's even with everybody working together, and even with the crazy fast restoration we saw a couple chapters ago, like, the destruction was nuts. You have Spinner and Izuku. A great number of citizens had their lives turned upside down by the unprecedented wave of terrorism incited by the League of Villains. Who exactly was the League's leader, Tomura Shigaraki? Find out now in part 2 of this special report. He was in the process of becoming a full-fledged Nomu, as his body was unable to withstand the multiple quirks like body bulk and scale mail. However, thanks to the great strides we've made in Nomu research, we just barely managed to halt that process before it had progressed too far. Pretty shameless of you to strut on in here, murderer. I'm not here to deny that, only to deliver Shigaraki's parting words. Oh yeah, here to kick a guy while he's down? You're one sick puppy, you know. If Spinner survived, tell him this. You survived, so here's the message. Even to the bitter end, Tomura Shigaraki kept fighting to destroy. Huh? Shigaraki told you to say that. Yes, to you, Spinner. Me. Toga and Dabi too, yeah. And Compress? No, only you. Shigaraki was my shining hope. With a smile he said we'd destroy everything. He transformed Deka into a gnarly crater. He represented me and my voice. When I was oppressed for who I am, I was ready to give up on my life. I was just some stinkin' heteromorph after all. No, stop. I decided not to dwell on that crap. Too painful to think back on. And he starts transforming. But he gave a guy like me a dream to cling to. I had hoped for major change. I dreamt I could be somebody. You don't have to put up with this from him. If need be, I can subdue. And we have the doctor. Izuku calls him off. Tomura Shigaraki was my hero. And now we still have the interview. Destroying the world just for the heck of it? That ain't a worthy cause. Just a temper tantrum without a lick of sense behind it. He was a This line out of context is going to be used so much. He was a gamer. The ongoing investigation by the authorities is revealing that the man had quite the tragic past. Figuring out the root cause matters, sure, but let's not turn this into some sob story, or else sympathizers might be converted to the cause all over again. The whole time I was a shut-in, video games were all I had, and he was also a fan of all of my faves. It has to be said, and we've got to say it with our whole hearts, so allow me. The guy was a piece of crap. He was my very first friend. Shigaraki told me he needed to be a hero to you all. The League of Villains held a special place in his heart. And I'm sure he felt the same way about you as you did about him, which is why I think he wanted to let you know. I got caught up in the frenzy, and at some point I stopped dwelling on the idea that we were past the point of no return. I've always been too slow on the uptake. If only I'd taken one more step. Then just maybe, I could have saved my hero and friend. Man, Spinner's character is actually so good. And maybe the next Tomoda Shigaraki are all for ones out there waiting with bated breath. We have to keep an eye out for the next threat. You bunch. We're gonna keep fighting, right? Sooner or later, I bet you'll forget all about Tomoda Shigaraki and the League. Just smiles and good times for you. Well, I'm gonna write a book. One about Tomoda Shigaraki, the symbol of fear, and about how the League of Villains lived to destroy. A book that'll stick it to you heroes forever and ever. The past never dies, and I'll spin the tale of Tomoda Shigaraki. Make it a comic book, says Izuku. Huh? And don't worry. I won't ever forget. I got a message too. Tell your octopus pal to give Life all he's got. How'd it go, kid? And we have Tsukauchi and All Might. Did you pass on the message? Yeah. Regarding your request about Chisaki. Oh, and we have Chisaki. What a sorry state you're in, Chisaki. I guess that's the, boss, yeah. Boss? You were never supposed to come out of that coma. You mean what your quirk did to me? Too bad for you, they're making huge strides with support items these days. And I ain't your boss. The gang's done and gone. Boss, I said to never stray from the path of humanity. Now look how you wound up. I was always there, reaching out with a guiding hand, teaching you not to head down the wrong path. I'm guessing Chrono never talked back and took you to task, huh? Sorry. I'm sorry, boss. Too little too late. It's Eri who deserves a lifetime of your sorries anyhow. Nah, that girl will go on to forget all about you, but don't you dare forget what you put her through. And make no mistake, I'll be taking you to task till the day you go to hell. So, I like that we're just, reiterating, they don't, all the villains who did these horrible things don't just get a free pass. Chisaki doesn't get his arms back. He doesn't get to redeem himself by, Eddie forgiving him and giving him his arms back and him healing the boss. No, he just still gets to be locked up with his arms missing. And as for Spinner, I feel like, again, he says he's going to make the book about Shigaraki and stick it to the heroes. But I think what we see here at the end is he feels like he could have saved his friend if he just said, let's not go this far. Let's not go past, he thought they were past the point of no return, but they really weren't. He could have told them to give up. And while we have the people talking in the background about the next potential All for One showing up sometime in the future, I don't think that Spinner's book is going to be one that tells people to be like Shigaraki in that sense, or to be like All for One. I think Spinner's book is going to show how Shigaraki went astray, and Spinner's book's going to show how he went astray and kind of dissuade people from ending up like his friend ended up. And now we have Izuku. Thank you, Detective Tsukauchi. Of course, this is a much better option than making Eddie relive that nightmare. What can we do to make it all stop for good? It's not going to stop. Again, that's the thing. Any crime statistic, you can try to get it as close to zero as possible. That's ideal. And in some utopia, it would be zero. But there just is no actual reality where it's going to be zero. There's always going to be at least some bad person out there doing bad things. And you can try to stop them. You can try to make it so that people don't have to resort to being bad. But there's always going to be somebody who chooses to be just the absolute worst. And then, we could ask Hawks to drum up an army's worth of heroes. Huh? Hawks wields that kind of power? Just joking. Look sharp. Frowns upside down, people. The new first years are joining our lessons today. Okay, so we are actually going in to the next school year. So we can't be all doom and gloom around them. But we'll barely see them going forward. There's not much contact between grade levels in the hero course. Todoroki! Oh my god, it's dynamite! Can I get your contact info? I'm a huge fan. You're so awesome. Let me take a selfie with you. What on earth? Expel them all right now. These first years are intense. And what is with Mineta's face? Okay. All of it, really, really, really good. Really solid stuff. And yeah, I guess I don't have too much to say to that I didn't say during the reaction itself. Man, this ending I think has just been really good so far. It's neat seeing a mangaka in Jump actually be allowed to take his time. That's very, very rare that they can take their time and finish their story how they want to finish their story. And I just think overall it's been a solid ending. Like, I don't think there's anything that's going to be perfect in everyone's eyes, but generally this was just good. So thank you so much for watching. It just makes you think, okay, we're getting first years coming in. I don't really think we're going to focus on that. Maybe a little. I don't think we are. But it's like, what do we do for the next, 3 chapters? We're, wrapping up Chisaki's story here, wrapping up Spinner and Shigaraki's. We already kind of wrapped up Dabi's. I guess if Toga didn't die, we still don't have, hard confirmation. If Toga didn't die, maybe we still have to wrap up Toga's story. Maybe we still have to do, romance stuff if there's going to be any, but I'd be perfectly fine if there wasn't. I think that honestly it could take my opinion down a little if we go too hard into the okay, we need to throw this character with this character and just throwing characters together. I hate when series do that at the end, and so many of these relationships that are most likely for Hero Academia are just so shallow that I'm really uninterested in them just being canonized for the ending. But I am excited to see what's still in store. So yeah, either way, thank you so much for watching, being a part of all this. Again, I've read all the way from chapter 1 here on the channel, so it's been a long road. Thank you so much. If you did like the video, comment down there, tell me what you thought of this week's chapter, my first thoughts and reaction and all of that. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you would like to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks down below, it's appreciated. Or if you want to help support the channel by becoming a patron or channel member, you get One Piece videos a little bit early, and you get shout outs at the end of each video here. So thank you so much to people who are patrons and channel members. Thank you. You can join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, Evernono, Abyss Knight, and J.A., Cherryton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Gold, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stance Eater, and Pure Element Pate Ardialo. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.